Hello everyone, Sylvan Bell coming to you live from the North Shore of Oahu. It's December 2nd, 2014. Nice sunny day, 10:20 in the morning. I want to talk to you about some sales advice that happens. Now, when you're going through the sales process and you're talking to people, one of the things that comes up and salespeople are nervous about and buyers are nervous about is the B word. The B word, the budget, right? And I'm going to share some information with you. When you're going through the sales process, remember there's a video and I'll link to it. You need three things to make a sale. You need a pain, you need a budget, and you need a commitment. Now, if the person has a pain, but they don't want to talk about the budget and they don't want to go over the budget and you've done everything you can, I'm gonna let you know the chances are really good. It's gonna be tough to close that deal because they're gonna get to the end and they're gonna say, well, you know, all right, I gotta think about it. Now, one of the things that I go to is when I talk to people and I work with them, I say, hey, look, you know, here's a situation. In about 30 minutes, we're gonna have to talk about a budget. And if we can't get to one, there's no reason for me to be here. And the people just kind of like, they look at me like, all right. So then when I start talking about a budget, I'll say, okay, so what are we looking at for this project? What do you have set aside? And then they're like, they don't want to tell me, okay? So I give them three chances. So like, we'll push off for a second, I'll pause because for some reason they're nervous about it, and then I'll come back. Okay, so we need to talk about this budget. Here's what some ranges are, where do you want to keep it within? Okay, and they'll say they don't want to give me that information again. I've given them the opportunity, I've given them the chance, now we're on chance number one, chance number two is gone. And so then the person's like, all right, you know what, here's the thing. I'm at the point in the conversation where we need to figure out what I can do for you. I don't have a budget yet. This is what I need to move forward. And remember, I shared with you earlier that if we didn't get to a budget, you know, at some point, I'm gonna have to walk. And so remember, I'm being very polite about this. When people tell you about sales processes, typically they shorten them up or they're lengthening them. Understand that right now on this video, I'm shortening it up a little bit. So you're gonna have to take it and you're gonna have to use your own words. You're gonna have to practice this a little bit and you're gonna have to figure out what words you're gonna say to politely get up and say, hey, look, I wish we could help you out from this point, but there's nothing more that I can do for you without this vital piece of information, okay? So that might be one way that you explain it. But if you're not getting to the budget and you're not figuring out somehow roundabout, they're putting you off, chances are it's going for bid. That's not good if they're not giving up this information. So, you know, I don't want to use the word pry, you have to pry it out of them, but you're gonna have to go for a couple of attempts, and then here's the thing. If they're not gonna give it to you, then you have to be willing to get up and walk away. Now, I do understand in some industries, things are at a sealed bid and they're not gonna give you that information. I'm not talking about you, okay? I'm not talking about 100% of salespeople in general at this point. I'm talking about some people in sales processes this is gonna work for. Now, I know that some of you are looking and you're like, hey, Scott, this is pretty uneasy for me because I'm not used to being that direct. Well, I'm gonna share something with you. You know what sucks is calling back people and chasing them and saying, hey, are we doing business? Hey, are we doing business? Hey, are we doing business? That sucks. I would much rather bring it to the point in the sales process and know that I'm gonna walk away from a sale that I probably wasn't gonna get anyway if that person is being very obstinate and they don't wanna give me the information in the type of sale that I'm in, okay? So there are times where people decide to, hey, Scott, you know what? You're not the right fit. You're the wrong personality. I'm okay with that. I'm at a point in my sales career that I have to be okay with that, and there's gonna be a point where you get okay with that too. And you're gonna find that the more willing and the more easier it is for you to walk away, that the more willing that person's gonna give you some information because they're gonna say, hey, look, this guy's willing to walk. Now, there is a hidden danger with you walking away from sales calls. The part of that danger is that it becomes easy to do it on the next one. It always becomes easy to do something after you've done it the first time. And if you've walked away from a sales call, in like your brain, you're like, oh, I could walk from this, I could walk from this, I could walk from this, and then all of a sudden you look at your bank account and it's got a big round number, it's zero, right? That's not a good thing. So here's the thing, you gotta get the budget. You gotta talk to that person, you gotta get the budget out of them. Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story, that'd be fantastic. To the right or to the left, there's a subscribe button, subscribe. And then send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Scott Sylvan Bell. Only Scott Bell with Sylvan Bell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.